My mom loved doing artwork her whole life. She did art. And then as you see, as her disease kind of progresses, her art also changes. And then that kind of transitions into, these adult coloring books, which she loved to do for the longest time, leading right up to her entry into McCormick Home.
Our relationship with McCormick started actually with Jay's mom and getting her in the day program. And then it also started with my brother years later and getting him into the day program as well. This is just a little bit of, sort of what I could find in terms of Kev's stuff that was really important to him. His dog. He loved his dog more than anything. He's a dog lover. He's had lots of dogs, but Nash kind of went through the journey with Kev with his diagnosis and all of that. He was the constant, support for Kev.
To give you an idea of leading up before the diagnosis, what Mom was like in the home life, Mom is one of those angels that we rarely see on this earth, where she's just filled with love. Luckily, that hasn't changed even through this disease. She was diagnosed very early on, unfortunately, very early 60s, actually. And then you start seeing some of the typical signs where, people with certain forms of dementia, they start repeating themselves. And those questions, those repetition, they would just become more and more frequent as the disease progressed.
My brother Kev, before the diagnosis, he worked for a company, it was in the oil industries, and he basically worked his way up, and he also did a patent, which was quite exciting. And my brother had heart valve surgery, so he had to have his heart valve replaced. Through all the tests, they found he had a spot on his lung, so he had 2 surgeries. And unfortunately, he suffered from anoxia, which is lack of oxygen to the brain, and which shouldn't change, right? That is
the damage to the brain.
Yeah, it shouldn't change
from that point.
This is how you are, and we're gonna deal with it, and you're gonna live a somewhat normal life, because he was pretty high functioning in the beginning. When this happened to Kev, when he was diagnosed with this, he was very angry because he's young. He was in his 50s. If you ask anybody, right, who is a caregiver, how can it not impact your life?
And the impact hasn't stopped. Mom is safe, and she's happy, and she lives in the moment. She kind of fit right in. She loves art. On memory lane, Sabrina, which is the coordinator for those activities, and she's absolutely
amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So hats off to her on a repeated basis. But getting Mom involved in the cooking classes that they do, or the art classes, or the singing, or whatever it is, she's
really good.
She's game to do whatever. It's been a great transition for her.
And Kev, he likes being active, so going out for walks, out west, that's what he was always in his free time. Would go hiking, go jogging, go running, whatever. So that definitely was one of his favorite things. And then I think the other thing would be music and dance. Music really speaks to my brother, and it can be a mood changer for sure. So he enjoys the Wednesday night. The disease is so brutal, but I do think the heartwarming moments would be, I think, bringing family together.
Happy birthday to... One of the things that I've learned to do, one of these heartwarming things that have kind of come my way, I think in terms of spending time at the home is learning to live in the moment with all of the residents.
So you get to know the staff and you get to know the people, and it's a community, right? And you know, the nurses, the PSWs, everybody in their roles and what they do. That's heartwarming to me.
And to have this learning center to help, you know, just because you're a nurse or a PSW in a dementia care long-term facility, doesn't necessarily mean that you understand that disease as well as maybe you could. And so to have this this training center that's being developed and brought forth is going to be very impactful, for sure, on a lot of different levels.
I don't think if we weren't together doing this, like, I mean, even though it's been hard on a relationship too, right? I'm just being totally honest and transparent. But we're a good team in that way. Like,
100%.
You know, we've made adjustments to our personal life to make it work, right? And because we love them.